Those are the sounds I heard outside of Motor City Casino today, and they were echoed across MGM Grand and Hollywood Casino at Greektown as the first ever full Detroit casino strike began today. About 3,700 workers walked off the job and onto the picket line as a deal has not been reached. I'm Jer Stays, and this is your Daily Detroit for Tuesday, October 17th, 2023, sharing what to know and where to go in Southeast Michigan. So, even if you're not a gambler, casinos are an integral part of Detroit's economy. As far as the city goes, it provides a chunk of revenue larger than property taxes. Since the late 90s and early 2000s, when these entertainment complexes opened, the city has relied on their receipts to keep things running and for thousands of jobs. The casinos did more than $2.2 billion in revenue last year as crowds returned, internet gambling and sports books took off. Plus, they're paying less in labor costs than they did in 2019. After the pandemic, where workers held off on some demands because of the work stoppage and not knowing what was going to happen next, union members say the deal is no longer fair. These unions represent dealers, cleaning staff, food and beverage people, engineers, you name it, a lot of the stuff that's important to run a casino. We'll get into what they want in a minute. For their part, the casinos say that they're going to keep operations going with temporary workers. MGM Grand said in a statement that they will stay open this week and beyond. Penn Gaming, who owns Greektown, a similar kind of situation. The potential hit to the city coffers if the strike really bites in, as we've talked about here on the show, could be over $450,000 a day if the casinos fully shut down. So there is a lot of financial incentive to keep these places going. I know this isn't a perfect comparison because buses are also funded by federal and other funds, but that's a little less than a new bus a day. They'll run you a little over $500,000 each from the last press release I found with costs on it. I reached out to the city of Detroit for comment on all this, and although I haven't heard back from them in time for this recording, I expect to soon. So what do the workers want? Here's what a couple of people said on the line today. Can I ask your name and what you do here?
My name is Michael Roscoe. I'm a prep cook at Motor City Casino. Been here for 16 years.
And so for you, why is it important to be striking right now?
Because we need economical justice and great health care. And normally in the past we've had good health care, but the company is making it an impossible on the health care issue.
What's changed for you around that?
What's changed with me is the health care. Once they change the health care, it makes it almost utterly impossible if you go in the hospital to pay your bills. Because they got us paying almost astronomical numbers. That's impossible to play.
What about issues like pay?
We're underpaid and overworked. We're doing 2 and 3 jobs. Normally it takes one man, we're doing 3 jobs. The workforce has been cut almost in half.
Do you think that with the more business since the pandemic that they need to hire more people?
Without a doubt. They need more people. They're making astronomical numbers. They're making plenty of money. So there's no reason why we shouldn't have more people to help us.
Somebody who comes to the casino regularly, what would you want to tell them about the situation?
I would tell them we need their support in this because we give them great service, and we need them to support us during this time so we can get economic justice and good health care.
My name is Ulysses Bryant. I'm a DCC spokesperson.
This has been simmering for a while, right? Like I'm reading these materials, and this has been an ongoing negotiation.
Again, like I said, it was never our intention to strike. However, we were ready and willing to strike as our membership had our back. And we ended up at an impasse, and this is where we are now. And we're just trying to come to a fair agreement that works on both sides of the table.
What are a few of the key points as you see it?
Maintaining healthcare that we've built over all these years, 2 decades. You know, our membership, especially the people that have been here 23, 24 years, we've had this healthcare and we want to maintain it. We have great healthcare. So wages. You know, the pandemic's hit, inflation's crazy, over 7%, mortgage rates over 7%. One job should be enough, and that's the message. One job should be enough. Our members shouldn't have to work 60, 70, 80 hours just to make ends meet.
And how far do you sense people are? Do you think this is going to be a longer thing or a shorter thing? What are you sensing?
I think that, you know, when both sides continue to negotiate, when we're ready to do that, I feel we'll eventually get to where we need to go, but we need to demand our respect, and that's one of the biggest things that we want in the workplace is respect.
Negotiations are ongoing. The full outline of demands from the Detroit Casino Council, made up of the Michigan Regional Council of Carpenters, Operating Engineers Local 324, Teamsters Local 1038, the UAW, and Unite Here Local 24, really boils down to 5 points. There are a lot of healthcare concerns, as you heard. Job security in the face of technology changes that the unions say already exist in other places. They're looking for retirement increases, reducing the workload, as apparently there are 1,500 fewer workers at the casinos after the pandemic, and they want to get, quote, the largest wage increases in the history of the Detroit casinos, unquote. It's an open question if gamblers will cross the picket lines. I honestly don't know. If you're a casino visitor, I'd love to hear from you. dailydetroit@gmail.com or 313-789-3211. That's 313-789-3211. All right, that is it for today's Daily Detroit. A little bit of a shorter edition, but I was out in the field. Thank you so much for listening. Tomorrow, Norris Howard will be in the chair. I'm sure we'll have some updates around this and a number of other interesting and important stories around Metro Detroit. Thanks so much for listening. Please remember that you are somebody, and I'll see you around Detroit.